In a world where mental health matters, through Food for Thought, we aim to create awareness and empower individuals to take charge of their mental well-being. Join us as we delve into the complexities of mental health and navigate the path towards healing and resilience. Food for Thought with Professor David Bitte.
Let's talk about self-care for somebody who's going through grief. How do they take care of themselves?
I think that same principle that we have been talking about, knowledge and knowledge and knowledge and knowledge. If we have this kind of knowledge, you realize that it is normal for people to go through grief if they have lost something. It's normal. It is perfectly normal, and if they want to cry, let them cry. I mean, this knowledge, you tell them they can have these complications, they can happen. So it's like it's not they are learning from first-hand experience. They know. They also know that people have different ways of grieving. It can be dramatic, because that is their culture. Please understand it. Don't challenge them. Don't challenge them. Don't even tell them you are not strong. What is all this you are doing? If that's the way that they do it, let them do it. If it changes with the time, and we can see things are changing. It was unbelievable that you'd ban bodies, but people are beginning to accept it. There's a cultural shift. Let it take its natural course, because people are accepting that. If you have somebody in a family, some people seem to be very badly affected and others don't seem to be badly affected, no, that is perfect, because all of us have different trajectories. And at the end of the day, many people find in fact, those people who do not grieve, they tend to get what is known as delayed grief.
No, my wife lost a younger brother. He was living in the States. And I remember she was telling me they went for the funeral. She did not cry. She did not experience any form of grief. They did what they did. They laid him to rest. They stayed there for about a week. But she told me when she was coming back, flying back, when she was in the plane, the grief that hit her, she said she has never experienced anything like that. She cried the whole way back. A lot of emotions she was going through. And she didn't understand, why did it happen now and not back then? Because so it's exactly what you're saying.
We are different. We are different. Yes. We are wonderfully made. And as I said, there are about 8 billion people on this planet Earth. No one is like another. Yes.
Professor, there's something I've always had. When it comes to grief and loss of a loved one, I've had people say there are certain things we say that are not kind. Example, somebody loses a child and they're grieving over this child, and you tell them it's okay, you're still young, God will give you another one. What do you think about such things? Terrible.
Terrible. Yes, don't do that, because you are imposing your own style of breathing on somebody else, and you are not helping them. If this is the way, if this is what is hurting them, let them articulate what is hurting them. My only child. Don't interfere. Just give them support. Keep your own way of grieving. This is what you say. If you are dramatized, if people dramatize death, let them dramatize death. Those who would otherwise, under normal circumstances, throw the body to the hyenas, let them go and do it. Of course, I don't think it's happening these days. It is changing, but we know it used to happen. Yes. I mean, it's an open secret. There are some communities, they didn't bother about death. I mean, burying people. Just leave them.
The animals will come and,
the hyenas will take care of that. I don't think that we are doing that. There's a shift in the way people are thinking. So go along with the people, support what is what they are doing, if that helps them. Don't tell them, don't cry.
Yes,
No,
that's the other
they
thing.
need
Don't
to
cry.
Be strong.
Be strong.
No.
For who?
For who? Be strong for who? For themselves or for you? So if they want to be cry, let them cry. If they want to shout, let them shout. If they want to scream, let them scream. But don't tell them, be strong, do not cry. You are a man, why are you crying?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's a mistake that we make.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we finish, Professor, let's talk about children, because sometimes I think we neglect children, or we assume children don't go through grief. What can you tell us about how to handle children and grief?
You know, that's a very good question. There are things I see and I almost cry. There was a guy, it's a patient I was seeing, a little boy, I think about 5 years, that was some time back, and our mother died in a road crash at the river, and she died on the spot. And the little boy was brought to hospital because he was crying and he was asking, where is mom? No, mom is not there. Where? Go and tell me where the mom is. She was buried. Go and bury her. I just want to see my mom. And it was very difficult when you are dealing with this kind of child. And eventually he began to understand the concept of death. So when we are dealing with the children, depend on their age, and as they go along, they begin to understand the concept, and that's when they will start mourning. When they were young, 4 or 5 years ago, they didn't quite understand, but with the age, they begin to understand. And their mourning will come much later than compared with the other people who understood the concept, what it meant. For them, it may take a long time for them to understand what is going on. Yeah, and you hear children, no, let's go and get our mother. Let's go and get our shoes from that grave. Why did you have to put her in a box? What was she doing in that box? Yeah. So, and I just sit and observe, and I see these things happening.
Professor, at what point do you, talking about the length of grief, at what point do you say, I think now this person is sinking into depression, I need to get them help? Yeah. Again,
awareness. Awareness. Because, as I said, you can have immediate grief.
Yeah.
You can have delayed grief.
Yes.
You can also have prolonged grief.
Oh, there's also prolonged grief.
Prolonged grief.
Okay.
So immediate, delayed, prolonged.
Yeah.
Those who start early, some of them go into the prolonged grief. Those who start late, delayed, they can also go into prolonged grief. And it can go on for a long time. There are people who grieve over the death of a person. They can go on for years, for a long time.
Yeah.
They have what we say prolonged grief. It's important for people who are surrounding these people to know that these people could be going through grief. It takes a long time to know that when people are grieved, they have anxiety, they have problems with appetite, they have problems with the sleep, and no sleep is very, very important. That they can progress to depression. They can become suicidal. I want to go and join them. I really want to go and join my dad. I want to go and join my wife. I want to go and join my child, and things like that. I have on my WhatsApp somebody who has got this message about her mother. Who died. I knew they were very, 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 very close. And even several years later, she keeps on sending message to her mother.
Oh, yet the mother died?
Yes, several years ago. And the message is, Mom, wherever you went, I miss you.
Wow.
And I hope to join you soon.
Oh my goodness.
It's not my relative,
Uh-huh.
it's the patient.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the pain.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important for all us to realize that human pain can be infectious,
Yes.
can affect you, even though you are not quite involved. So knowledge is very, very important. If you see me crying, I suppose just because I sympathize with that person, that they can imagine what they are going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Professor, I have one more question and then we can wrap it up. In terms of grief and expression, there are people who, my sister, my elder sister, in fact, we keep saying how she was given the ministry of compassion and mourning with those who are mourning. My sister, it doesn't matter who has died. She will cry, she will visit. I mean, she's very expressive. But then, some of us are not. Some of us seem to be able to kind of move on quickly. Fine, they've died, we'll feel bad, we'll feel sad. But then tomorrow life goes on and we keep moving. So for somebody like that, sometimes they may feel, am I normal? Because other people seem to have an expression of grief and you can tell that they have really gone through something. But for me, well, yes, I've gone through something, but I don't really express it the way everybody else expresses it. And I kind of pick up the pieces very quickly and I move on.
Yeah.
Am I normal?
Don't force yourself to be what you are not. Yeah. Accept yourself the way you are. And we know even the visitation ministry, which churches practice quite a lot. Yeah. There are people who go and provide support and they want to be there, particularly women group, they want to be there. Yeah. They are providing support, they go and talk to you. Then the others, particularly men, who don't seem to do that because they are not emotionally involved. And it's okay, that's the way they are. So don't blame yourself that you are not able to do it. Maybe a time will come for you when you'll have to do it. Yeah. So just leave it like that. And I don't think they should blame themselves. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Professor, thank you. Thank you for your time. We have been talking about coping with grief and loss, and we've come to the end of our discussion for today. Thank you so much for being a part of Food for Thought with Professor Ndetey. As always, give us feedback. If there are topics you would want us to explore, feel free to suggest. And also, go on to our YouTube channel. Look for Family Media on YouTube. You will be able to find all the recordings we've done with Professor Ndetey. There are over 100 recordings, almost 200 recordings we have done with Professor Ndetey on mental health issues. So check them out. Forward to as many people as possible. Until next week when we get into a new discussion, do have a great day.
Food for Thought with Professor David Ndetey.